Welcome to the Zeal Life Podcast, where we explore the creative journey through the lens of fashion, culture, and the stories that shape us. I'm your host, Amaya.
And I'm Karina.
Let's get into it.
Ooh.
Hello.
Hi. Oh. Hi, girl.
Hey.
What's going on?
Just frolicking.
Frolicking. Yes. When you said frolicking, I wanted to make a comparison to Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
And how she's just in the forest, not the forest, but the little, what are they called? It's not a garden, but just when flowers are everywhere.
Yeah.
We'll say garden, whatever. The valley, and she's just,
yeah.
Nice white joy.
Not white joy. I'm done.
That's what that was. Okay, so we're deep into the summer, girl.
Yeah.
So when we're out and we're at brunch or we're at dinner, what are we ordering? What's our go-to drink right now?
Well, I'm always gonna be a dry red wine girly, but if I want a summer drink, I'm always looking to see if they have sangria, and it also depends on the menu and where we are.
Okay.
I love a sangria, like a fresh, a red sangria.
Yeah.
The fruit, it's very refreshing.
I love a refreshing drink.
Yeah.
I love a mint. If a drink has a mint, a cucumber.
Ooh, I was gonna say cucumber mint.
I'm there. There's times where I have the problem. I go out and I always ask the waitress what drink is going on right now, what's popular. But dry red wine girl too. My go-to drink is tequila, club soda.
Yeah.
3 limes. To be exact, if there's 1 lime, I'm sending it back.
Right.
If it's 2 limes, I'm sending it back. If it's 4, I'm sending it back.
Right. 3 limes.
We've been red wine for ever. But I was talking to one of my coworkers, and she loves wine. Loves wine, and I was asking her what's her favorite wine, and she was like, "Oh, it depends on the season." I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, you should switch up your wine per season.
Yeah.
And in the summer, get something a little white that's lighter and stuff." And I that had never crossed my mind just because I don't like sweet wine, and I always associate white wine with sweet wine.
Got it. Okay.
And I can't a dessert wine. I can't stand it.
Okay.
And she was saying do white. So what I've also been trying is orange wine. It's wine made it's not made from orange peels.
Okay.
But it's they call it orange wine because it's actually orange. But I think the grapes are sitting there a little bit longer.
Ooh,
and it's been good.
Okay.
It's actually been pretty good. So anytime you see orange wine on the menu for summer, get it.
Okay.
But besides that, what's your deal? What's got your attention this week, girl?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about creative identity these days. It's so funny when you ask these questions. I'm always so abstract in what I'm thinking about. But
that's what I love about you.
Yeah,
I love it. You're so deep. I'm so surface level. I love it.
So deep, but. Because the last one was the patriarchy. I've been thinking about I've been thinking a lot about creative identity, and because we were talking about Doechii, and I was trying to think about just ways and how to approach our conversations today, and I was like, she is so good. I was just thinking about how good she is about being a real creative, and I say that because when we think about music and artistry today, there's so much commercialism around the art that we consume. And I've always been someone that connects with artists who I can really feel and resonate with. And I'm like, what separates the artists I connect with, like a Doechii, a Kendrick, a Beyonce, I even love SZA. What separates a lot of these artists from some of the music that maybe I'll listen to, but I'm not really connected to in a deeper way. And they're really committed to the path of being a creative, not just, putting out commercial music, but really you can tell that they are on a journey themselves. I think TDE is really good
Yeah.
at finding artists who are committed to that and also supporting and nurturing that gift and skill set in them. And so
Yes.
Doechii is someone that I've been following for a while in terms of her music, and I really love what she's doing as an artist. From even in the fashion spaces,
Yes.
her music, who she is, and how she embodies black women. Um, and she's recently, or actually not so recent, to be honest with you, but at one point she was in Mexico and she's documenting
Yes.
documenting her creative process.
Yes.
And I love that. And it falls to our topic today too, because we're going to talk about creative block a little bit. Not to say that she is has creative block, but I like that she decided for herself that she was going to get away in the space of creativity for the sake of her creativity.
Yes.
And so
I love that.
That's something I've been thinking a lot about, how we as creatives are committed to our journeys and what things are we willing to do to become better artists and create, work that is going to stand the test of time.
Yes. I really love that, because one thing about that I enjoy about Doechii that is very clear to me when we talk about the artistry of it. I like when people are artists and creatives first, and then they just find an element that they're able to express that in.
Yeah.
And you can tell that she's just somebody that is a creative person, and music was what she chose to express herself through.
Yeah.
But people like that I think are really generational talents in a way. They're able to do a lot of things, and they're able to pick up a lot of things. The first person that I could think about that I remember seeing this when I was young is going to be Kanye West. Like,
yeah,
I keep going back to him sometimes for my examples, because he was maybe because he was louder about it. Yeah. I don't know, but it's very easy to tell that Kanye is just a creator.
Yeah.
And the way he was able to express that was through music. But it's nothing for him to express that through furniture, through I don't know if he has the furniture on, but through fashion, through those different avenues. Yeah. And that's what impresses me about people and about creatives, because if you have that flow within you, you can express it in so many different ways. Like, it's just in you. It's just in you.
Yeah.
And music is just the easiest. Like, for me, for example, I could never do music. I'm not musically inclined.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that, like, I admire people like a Doechii, a SZA, a Kendrick, that are Beyonce, that are able to listen to things and make it make sense. I don't know how you make music make sense. I played the violin, but to be able to, like, take it and move.
Right, yeah, me either. I don't have that gift.
You have to have that. I'm like, which is why, not we see a lot of creatives fail, but I think, this is going to be a bold statement, very hot take that I'm going to try out for a little bit. I think when we look at the creatives, the ones that are able to express themselves musically, not are superior, but are like some of the tops.
Yeah.
That if you're able to express yourself musically and you can find other outlets, you may be some of the best of the best.
Yeah.
Because it can't be reversed.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple of fashion designers that I'm like, I don't think you can make music. I guess you could DJ though, which is why everybody's DJing. Everybody's DJing, nobody's dancing. You know?
Do you think you could DJ?
Yeah. Remember, I was DJing when we were in college at the parties, and you used to put up one YouTube and then the other YouTube and slowly fade this one out and then fade this one in. So I was DJing. I do have a past in that life.
Okay. So you do have some musical.
Yes, I can fade in and fade out.
Right.
Real good. I can do that. But yeah, it's a great thing to I guess bring up, and just seeing her explore that, because even as she's doing it on her like burner account.
Yeah.
That's an element of feeling free too.
Yes, and that's what I love, the freedom. You can just tell that, and you can tell when an artist is going through their own process.
Yes.
And I love when they share that, and they share that process with us or express that in their music. I've been thinking a lot too in the same conversation around like shadow work. And you can really feel when an artist is going through something and they're able to translate that musically. I think is Beyonce does a really great job at that. And Doechii again, artists who are able to, like, for example, Lemonade, I feel like with Beyonce was a really strong, it was a very vulnerable album. There was a lot of shadow work, I think, that was happening there, as well as Mr. Morales and the Big Steppers with Kendrick. These are really 444 with Jay-Z.
Yes.
Jay-Z. These are really good albums, and a big part of that is because they're being vulnerable, and you can tell they're going to the places that you're supposed to be ashamed of. You know, you're supposed to be ashamed of, or we don't often talk about those taboo topics.
Your husband cheating on you.
Your husband cheating on you.
Especially be Beyonce.
Yes.
That was Lemonade came out and it was a crazy time because I had just broken up. He's editing this video, so he's gonna be like, I know what she's about to say. I had just broken up with my now husband at the time when Lemonade came out. What? You think we gonna get back together and Beyonce saying this?
I ain't sorry. I know you was blasting them. I can only imagine what you was doing with that. I know you played that album out.
I gave them a hit. He didn't do nothing like that Jay-Z did, but it's just the simple fact that she came up with the perfect break-up album. Because we go back to how you frequently talk about rage and black women rage and black rage altogether, and to have that album and she's just talking about the rage behind it all. Because typically when we see like a breakup album, you see the opposite. You see like the, oh my God, he left me. I'm so sad about it, which be sad. You know, I'm not making fun of nobody. It's a process. But she was like, actually, F you, and you can have them. You can have them.
Yes.
It was so, and it's one of those things where we talk about artistry and people being able to explore their creativity and that just being the outlet. I'm also really thinking about Cowboy Carter when it comes to Beyonce. And once again, I'm not musically inclined, but I'm married to somebody who is. So as we're listening to it together, he's like, oh, she played with her voice there. Did you hear that? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? I'm like, to me, it's just Beyonce singing, but like, you listen to a Renaissance, you listen to really Cowboy Carter and how like she makes her voice go deep and then like it's so experimental. It's so experimental, and
I mean, the decisions behind that is what makes her such an incredible artist because she's tapping in. There's a story she wants to tell. And so she's making these decisions in order for that story to land and for that emotion to land. And I think it's so cathartic to experience that. So if someone is if Beyonce or whomever is experiencing something and we're listening, we're able to connect, and how cathartic that is for us. You know, I think sometimes when we talk about music, there's a conversation around the dark side of music and how sometimes you can listen to music and it can feel heavy. But that might be what you need in that time. And that's why I don't participate in those conversations where, you know, you have those conspiracies online that are like, this is dark. This is, you know what I mean?
Child, did not get me started.
But the thing is, I used to be one of those people.
Okay.
Years ago, I used to think that way. I'm like, yes, you could listen to something and feel the heaviness of it. But if you've ever gone through something dark, you might need to listen to something dark so that you can feel. It's a cathartic release. It helps you to also move through that emotion. It helps you, because there's times where I can listen to certain music now because I'm in a certain season. But I'll think back to a song that I may have heard and I'm like, dang, I was playing that over and over and again, but now it doesn't resonate the same because I'm not in that space anymore, you know? So these are having these conversations and being able to look at a body of work like a Renaissance, a Cowboy Carter, Lemonade.
What was Doechie's last album?
Alligators Never Bite.
Okay.
Yeah. So
because that was gorgeous. That was a great album.
It was a great album.
About, like, storytelling, and you look at her music videos, you can tell she's storytelling. Some people, I'm like, all they needed was money.
Yeah.
All they needed was money.
Yeah.
And she's one of those people. She's definitely one of those artists, one of those creatives. When I'm like, all she needed was access. I don't know what to do with it. I just had to sign the deal. You know, I just had to sign the deal.
Because you can still see her on YouTube.
Yes, I love the fact that she kept that up.
From when she first started, when she lost her job. I think that's incredible. That's I would say one of the positives of being in this time as a creative is like you can really see people's process if they keep it up.
Yes,
you can really see how they got to where they are.
Exactly. No, you definitely can. Don't she? She's just that creative juice that she has is like, girl, let me get some. Let me get a cup of water. Because when we talk about how heavy music can be, it makes me think about a funny story. Did I tell you about how I caught one of my friends in Rihanna's comments?
Wait, tell me again. Tell me again.
So I didn't even catch it. What my other friends did. One of my friends texted me and like, you know how like it's your man, this your man.
Yeah.
They was like, this your homegirl, and it was a screenshot of her. We're not friends anymore. It was because crazy. Yeah. It was a screenshot of her in Rihanna's comment.
Yeah.
Saying you are the devil, and then this is Satan music. It was just like all caps. All caps.
Oh my God. All caps. It's giving. Let me not say that. I was gonna say.
Yeah. But all caps. Yeah. First off, to be in anybody's comments with all caps is crazy.
It's crazy.
That's especially a celebrity that you don't know. I was.
Were you surprised or did it shock you? Like this had to be a person that was.
Was I surprised? No.
This was their personality.
No.
This had to be. No?
I was not surprised at all.
Okay.
I cried laughing though. Like I was on the floor dying laughing. Oh, it was the funniest thing. So I was like, girl, what's going on? But people do be in people's comments.
Yeah.
Comments talking about how heavy the music is.
Yeah. And I can't speak for like dark metal. Yes. Like there are certain genres that's very intentional about certain things, but that's my take on it. Yeah. I do think a lot of it is really just because when we talk about Black rage and that sort of thing, we need that. We need something where we can kind of work through those harder emotions and experiences. Yeah. But yeah, what has your Zeal this week?
What has my Zeal this week is I've been thinking a lot about what it means to make it in the fashion industry right now and how you start that. Okay. Because I'm thinking about when I was in school and what I was learning and trying to understand how times have like changed and what's the difference now between starting a fashion brand versus starting a fashion brand earlier on. Right. So a fashion brand is not something that I want to start at all. Yeah. But I'm interested in how people can start today because when we look at like a 2015, 2014, it was really about wholesale. Mm-hmm. So you had to have a lot of capital up front. You were wholesale. From that point on, it was the buyers. It was people that could take your product to the next level, and you were relying on them to do that. Mm-hmm. And by that, I mean people behind the scenes, which is why we get some people now that are more popular for not being fashion designers, but they once were. It's like, you know what I'm talking about. And there was a sense of gatekeeping there. Yeah. Because at that point, you could gatekeep. Like, you really, really could because it was just a wholesale. Yeah. Like, wholesale was the most important thing. That and capital. Yeah. You had to have both of those things now. And then as we see, like, these T-shirt brands pop up I just think that barrier is kind of down. So I've really just been tracking like what the difference is between the two. And one of the first major differences that I've seen now is that you have to build the community first. So typically what you would do is you would build the community based on the product.
Okay, yeah.
Or you would like you would have the product and then say, okay, this serves this community.
Yeah.
But the very first thing is if you want to find a niche, if you that POV, you already have to have that going into the brand.
Yeah.
Which is why now it's so easy for influencers to have companies. It's
true.
so you see how many influencers have beauty brands?
That's true.
How they have like it's so easier for them because they already have the company built and that's the community built, and that's what matters. So then after you have that community built, then you go into the designing, the sourcing, which could be a whole different segment in itself and how that's changed. But now instead of like wholesale, you're looking at quick hits. The same way we just talked about Beyonce, about how she was saying that nobody crafts a project anymore. Yes. It's all about quick singles. It's all about quick hits. So translating that into the fashion industry, it's all about small batches.
Yeah.
It's all about making something quick and moving on and quick, which you can think fast fashion for that. But one thing that I did find that was common is you still have to know manufacturing.
Yeah.
Like you still have to speak that language. Right? You still have to know what the tech pack is. You still have to be able to sketch something and tell somebody how to produce it or how you want it produced in a way.
Okay.
No.
I was going to ask you a question.
Okay, what?
Okay, so you started talking about community and do you have, because I know you're very practical.
Yes.
What are some practical ways that brands can start to build that community prior to, like, since they don't have the product?
Yes.
How can we get creative? How should they be connecting with their customer?
I think that you have to first make something that is community led, and then the product is a byproduct of the community. So what that may look like is if I want to, I don't know, what am I thinking? If I want to have activewear, right?
Yeah.
Let's say I want to have an activewear company. My first stop would be I need to build a gym community within my Instagram.
Okay, yeah.
Like within my Instagram, within whatever, I need to build a gym community. So whether that's like posting about what you do at the gym, like I need to connect with those people. So if I wanted to build an activewear, I would first start by making gym videos of this is how many sets you need to make to do this, and this is what you need to do this, blah, blah, blah. And I would build that community. And then from that, I would be like, okay, I have to launch a product.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
So you would say that if you're wanting to start a brand, you essentially have to be an influencer or a creator to some degree.
You do. Because I'm trying to think of it as how do you, because I'm trying to think of it, how do you do that if you don't want to be in front of the camera? I don't think there's a way. My first thought would be if you're just like a community hub.
Yeah.
That's my thought of how you could do that. Yeah. But I don't know how. The issue with social media and not wanting to be at the forefront of it is you have to connect with the audience. So unless you're using other ambassadors to connect, which is like, that's how you can move past building this community, is if you're relying on somebody else's community.
Yeah.
So if you do the product first, you need to put it in the hands of the ambassadors, and then they can just work it backwards. So you could do it that way. But if we're starting low on capital,
right,
and you want to prove that there's a community first, that's how I would do it. I would definitely be a creator first, and then like, okay, I just want to do this actually, even if it's just for like, even if it's just for like maybe 1 year or like a couple of months. Now I've built enough of a community where I'm like, okay, people trust me. Now I can go ahead and open this.
Yeah.
And I can go ahead and do this.
No,
especially if I'm not relying on anybody else.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great way to come about it. And there's ways, because to your point, people are always going to go to I don't want to have to be a creator or influencer. I don't want to have to post myself. We are seeing more and more of that demand for founder-led content.
Yes, we are.
If people who have maybe even have brands that have been sustaining, but now are finding a drop, are having to rework their strategy and get in front of the camera in order to sustain what they've already created.
Yeah, it's definitely founder. It's definitely a founder-led industry right now.
Yeah.
And I don't see that going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
Anytime soon. I think that is like a permanent, like staple. Like if you want to be the founder of anything, you better be in front of that camera.
Yeah.
Talking about it, connecting with people.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Go ahead. No, I was gonna ask another question around where we see this going, but you may have more to talk about, so I don't want to.
No, where do you see this going?
I don't want to skip it, but where we see this going 5 to 10 years from now, in terms of like, if you have predictions, any predictions on where we may go, and
I do not know, because what I'm thinking is I don't think we're at the point where the pendulum is. I don't think we're at the height.
Yeah,
I think that's what, like, I don't think we're at the height of founder-led companies or influencer-led companies. Maybe influencer, but I think because we may be at the height of celebrity altogether.
Yeah.
Like, we're definitely seeing the celebrity fall within the next 2 to 3 years. It's here right now. Like, I can tell that celebrities are shaking their boots a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I can definitely tell that.
I think the Met Gala really put more eyes on that conversation.
Yes. Yes, it definitely did. And just based on the way some of those questions were answered there, I can tell you're shaking in your boots. I can tell, just because those protests were loud. Those protests were loud. Yeah. You could not get to the Met Gala without the protests in the background. And I think that's because we're over the rich being together.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Not them being together. Hold on. We're over the rich celebrating their riches together. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I think everybody is so far past that. And I think it's because we're over the celebrity. Like, the celebrity was at its height, like, in the early 2000s.
Yeah. For sure.
Like, they were all of the pop. Not saying that people aren't outside looking for Rihanna, right? Not saying that, or looking at Beyonce, but those are just the icons. Those are the icons, and they're not really doing anything. If we're being honest, like, they're not. And what I mean by that is they're not being too controversial. Like they're just not. They're doing their job and they're going home. But I think altogether, and even, to be honest, even Beyonce, I've seen a lot of clap back to her recently. Yeah. Like, even from the stands, like, definitely at the way she maneuvers, her and Jay-Z. I've seen a lot of it. And but yeah, I think we're over that celebrity, but I don't think we're at the point now where we're over indie brands, because these companies just keep getting bigger. They get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and there's going to be some type of response to that. And I think it goes into us being more supportive of indie brands. I definitely don't think we're at the height, because I don't see enough people doing it yet. Yeah. But yeah, so after you build this community, right? So we said you build a community, you learn about sourcing, right? You understand what that means. You learn about designing. You understand how to communicate your designs, which is going to be the most crucial part. Yeah. Like, you have to understand how you have to be able to communicate your sketches to somebody that does not speak English. That's true. And so that means you have to be very technical. And when I say, I mean from how many inches you want your buttonhole to be. Like, you have to be able to communicate that. And now you have places, let's say we're doing quick hits. Now you have places like Alibaba, who you're able to get in contact with these manufacturers quicker, right? You're able, and you can do a lot of cool stuff on that website. I'm not going to hold you. You really can. I've seen people make sweaters from that. Wow. Like, I've seen, and when I say sweaters, like, you know the Curbs bag? Yeah. There's the manufacturing company. There's one of them is on Alibaba. What? Yes, I love how I'm saying Alibaba. But they're all Alibaba. They're over there, and you can because you can make one with your name on it. Like, so instead of it saying curves, it can say Coco, it could say Maya. So imagine how somebody who wants to start a quick brand can just take that and say, oh, I make custom bags. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. So, but it depends, once again, it depends on what scale you want to do it at. And if you actually want to be a design forward brand.
Okay.
Right.
So then Alibaba wouldn't be the
no.
For more design forward, yeah.
If you want to be more design forward, and like we talk about Dior and stuff, and you want to, like the Dior exhibit that we talked about, you want to have cut and sew things. Yeah. That's a different situation. You wouldn't be able to go to Alibaba. Yeah. You need to, but that also comes with knowledge. One thing, like I said, that I've seen, you still have to have manufacturing knowledge. You still have to understand where to go, because in the U.S., I don't know if the one in Atlanta closed, but there was once one and here in Atlanta, and they did small batch manufacturing.
Oh.
Yeah. I know the owner. And so I'm like, oh, is he still doing this? I need to get in contact with him, see what he got going on. Yes. But it was small batch manufacturing, and they would take designers' collections and they would make them, and they would be very small batch. So 200 units, 100 units, something that you're able to actually move. Yeah. Which leans into the next thing that I see being more successful now than in the past, and what people are relying on, and that's pre-orders. Now, we did an episode last season 1, of course. About how pre-orders can get you in trouble too. Mm-hmm. Because if your manufacturers aren't on top of it, they don't care what you got going on. Yeah. They don't care.
That with a couple of
we just saw that. Yes.
Was dealing with that. Hanifa. Not Hanifa.
No, you're right. Yeah, it was Hanifa. Yeah. Who else is there? Was somebody that just came out, and I remember because it was a founder-led fashion company, and she posted a video about it, and she was like, your manufacturers do not care about your pre-orders. But the good thing about a pre-order is you're able to assess the demand of something. Yeah. So you only have to make, 1, what was ordered. Yeah. 2, so you have the capital for it. Right? So that's your money right here. You're able to go make the item, and push it back and give it to the customer. But the issue is manufacturing. Because to me, the other hard sell with pre-orders is, as a small brand, you have to understand that from their you have to make your customer understand that from their purchase to the delivery, it takes around 6 months to make it. Mm-hmm. It takes a while to make it, depending on your manufacturer. So they're not receiving that product for months on end. And because even Beyonce even went through this. We go back to Beyonce. Yeah. What vinyl did I order from her? And WAP.
Oh yeah,
I ordered Cardi B WAP too, and it took like half a year to get to me.
Oh my, 6 months.
Yes.
Sheesh.
Like, it took so long, I forgot I ordered it, and I was like, "What is this?" Yeah. And I opened it. I said, "Oh, I did order this." Girl ordered this when the song first came out. But vinyls right now typically work off a pre-order system, which is why it takes it so long to get to you. Yeah. So which is why also it's like, one thing I'm also seeing with brands now that brands back then did not have to do is be transparent. Transparent brands are succeeding bad. Like, if that's where it is, you have to be transparent, and other than that, you just have to have good marketing.
You do
have to have very good marketing.
I'm so glad you said that, because it's the truth. You have to be able to, on top of, have your brand, have your mission, your messaging, your the persona you're targeting. You also have to be able to educate your customer.
Yes.
And you have to be honest. And I think we as consumers are in a space where we are craving honesty over perfection. And if you can be transparent about what that process is, and educate us, because to your point, pre-ordering is something that, if that's what needs to happen in order for me to get the product, or for you to sustain as a business, be transparent. Let me know. And how you do that is going to,
Yes.
how you do that just depends. But I do think it is important to be having those conversations with your customer.
It is. It is. Because the issue that I see a lot with pre-orders is it's like in small print. This, I like this item, is pre-order. It's like red, but size 12, like size 10. Like, come on, size 9. Like, the font size isn't big enough.
Yeah.
And you need to educate them on when they're actually going to receive it.
Yes.
So where I've seen brands be the most successful is saying, hey, this is pre-ordered and this is not able to ship. Main word, ship, not deliver, ship until July, until November, so brands that are doing that are really transparent, and I'm seeing them have more success. If I had to pick one indie brand that I think is doing really well, I need to check the transparency piece, but it would be Script. So Script is like a Black-owned brand. She's not designed for it by any means, but not being designed for it and still being successful is a very talented thing to do. And essentially what she's doing is her community is college women, college girls. And she takes, like, there was one tank top that she had that it was a license plate and it said, like, it was a Tampa license plate the state, like a Georgia license plate, and it said, like, Hottie. Like Georgia,
cute. It's
just cute,
very cute,
neat things like that. She just recently did like a I guess we can call it collaboration with the Goodwill, where all of the items that she had that were like surplus, she put them in the Goodwill, marked them down drastically. And the girls were wrapped around the corner. The girls were wrapped. It's so smart. It's so smart. And I just see her, and like I said, it's not like these clothes are like designed amazingly. Like it's activewear. It's like think about like a Body by Raven. Very like I can find your manufacturer extremely fast.
Yeah.
But what are you able to do with that as a whole and set yourself apart? And I think that brand's doing an amazing job.
Okay, those were all really good points. How to start your brand. So I hope y'all took notes.
Please do.
I hope y'all took notes.
I'm not over here talking to myself.
Right.
I don't want to start a fashion brand at all. I don't have that desire. Yeah. But if you want to, you should do it.
There you go. I think those are all great. And I like that we talk about in our experiences when it comes to starting brands. And not even just like starting a fashion brand necessarily, but it's just in the scope of starting anything creatively in this space. And as you know, I'm a broken record. When it comes to that, there are processes and there are certain pitfalls or challenges that you may go through in doing that. Yeah. A big part of starting a brand and being a creative is sometimes you're going to come against creative block. Creative block, and that is what we want to dive in today. And I want to start off with asking you, especially in this climate with social media, what are your thoughts on, in the midst of you, and this part is important too, because there's a fragility there when you're first starting your brand. What are your thoughts on consuming other content that is similar to the brand that you're starting? In the conversation around creative block or creative inspiration, do we think that we should be consuming other people's content to kind of get over the hurdle of creative block or become re-inspired? Or can that cause some friction between your own creative process?
I'm smiling because I think I'm very old school in this. Yeah. My answer is no. You don't need to be consuming anybody else's stuff. Okay. You don't need to. Yeah. You don't need to consume any and the reason that I say I'm old school with that is because, I come from okay, you can make your mood board, but if you're making your mood board about clothing, I should never see clothing on your mood board. Yeah. That I have that issue. So I have that issue so much when I look at people's mood boards and I can see what they're trying to make in the mood board. Mm-hmm. Just because what you're going to end up doing is copying that. Yeah. That's all you're going to see. So hard stance, no. Full stop, no. If you are in a creative block, you should not be consuming anybody else's stuff around you. Or around what you're trying to start or around what you're trying to do. Now, after you get out of that block and you have your own opinion, then you can start looking at people. Yeah. Then you can start doing that for, I don't know what you would be doing that for. Maybe market research, maybe. Or if you want to see what's going on in the world. But if you are in a creative block, you need to go do something else really quickly. Yeah, you got to be careful. And I agree with that. For what you're saying, to add to that, just for comparison as well. Because once you start looking too deeply for inspiration from other brands, especially that are similar to you, you will start to compare. That starts to open up a whole different opportunity to be distracted or to be discouraged, especially at this phase. And that's why I wanted to frame it in a way of like, you're starting off or you're in your beginning stages. You maybe have already started, but you're in your beginning stages of your business. That's a fragile place to be. You're a baby in this space, right? So you want to be careful with what you're consuming. You're opening doors and spaces to compare, and then also to copy. And I think that's what frustrates me is the copying. The copying. The same way I can tell if it's a mannequin look, the same way I can tell who you got this business idea from. Yes. I can tell who you, and a lot of, when we come to comparison, I know people, a lot of people that I even know in my life do that. And they'll start comparing to the other person and then they'll copy that. Yeah. Like, so I can say, so when I was early in my career of like what I wanted to do, I just started. Like early in what I wanted to do, I was a seamstress, right? And I was a tailor. And I stopped doing it. Like, it wasn't something that I enjoyed. Now, at this time, I can say that's not what I enjoy doing. Yeah. That's not how I wanted to use my skill set of sewing. Like, I more so see it as, like, the artistry, the skill, like, the craft of it, right? Not the fast commodification of it, right? So, but I had friends that were still in that industry. And I was like, they're so successful. Let me just do it again. Yeah. Like maybe I just didn't care enough, or maybe I started to compare when I was in a creative block. And I was like, well, why'd you stop doing this thing? Like, you stopped doing this and you're with people, you know people are in your phone book that are very successful and are getting big clients and doing big shows, big TVs. Yes. Like, why aren't you doing this and why aren't you like that? And I entered the field again, and I hated it again. I was like, really, you don't like this? Yeah. And I'm like, you're looking at somebody else's journey while you are in a creative block, and what you need to go do is sit down and read a book and go touch some grass. Exactly. And then you'll get out of it. But I'm like, you can't. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's not the time to. You really shouldn't be doing it at all. Comparing yourself. That happens at every stage in your life. There's going to be opportunity to compare yourself. But no, I like what you said there, and something that this conversation around creative block makes me think about is also perfectionism. And I think a lot of times when it comes to experiencing creative block, sometimes it has to do with the idea that you have to be perfect when you're doing it. We talk a lot about the artist way on this podcast. Yes. We read that together. Yes. A big theme in the book that they talk about is the creative process and not being afraid to make the mistakes as you go. Yes. And we were just talking about Doechii, showing the process. Yes.
documenting the process. That is what people connect to as you're building your brand. And it also helps to unlock that creative block when you are just do it. Just start. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think oftentimes we get in our heads around that, and that you can spiral, and that can also create that creative block. Now, I'm not saying, I think there's different reasons why people experience creative blocks throughout their journey. But if you are somebody that because I struggle with that. It has to be perfect when it comes out. You're not going to get where you want to go. You're not. You have to be willing for it. You have to be willing to make those mistakes. We were talking to was it last episode? I think we were talking about you were talking about getting dressed and having bad taste at some point. It's okay. It's okay, but that's how you almost edify as you go along your creative process. But yes, I really believe perfectionism kills creativity.
It does.
And it keeps you in that creative block space. You just have to act.
Yes, I agree with that. And I think another thing with being in a creative block that has helped me in the past, because when I think of creative block, I'm thinking I don't have any ideas. I'm thinking I don't have anything to pour into this. And what I like to do, I'm a big girl for a project, like a random project. Like I love it. I've been in creative blocks before, and I will look at my own work that I've done like 5 years ago, and I'll redo it. I'm like, okay, let's redo it. I'm like, when I was, there was once a point where I was a pattern maker, and I would make patterns and blah, blah, blah. So when I first started, I remember doing this really big project of just like, I need to flush out things, and I did prints from A to Z. I'm like, every day we're going to do a print from A to Z and we're going to figure it out. I'm big on projects. I'm really big on projects that may force me to get out of something, even if it looks like crap. So either I'll do that or I'll go back and I'll revisit something. I love to reference myself.
Ooh, I love that.
I love to look at something that I've done in the past and say, oh, okay, with the eyes I have today, what would I change about this? How would I edit this? What's another perspective on this? Something to get the juices flowing. Even if it sucks, even if it's whatever, it's not perfect. It's something that like helps the engine, and it's from me. It's from me. So in the process, I'm like, oh girl, I've grown so much. So I start to thank myself, and I get more appreciative of myself, and then I start to form a different identity and a different person. I can just identify things a little bit better.
I love that you go back. I love that you reference yourself, because it does almost kind of kill two birds with one stone, in the sense that you are going through this block, but then you also get a little confidence boost, because you're like, wait, I did that, and because you forget about a lot of the work that you've done in the past. Especially if you're actively creating, it's very easy to forget. So I think that's a great point around referencing yourself. Other ways I've approached creative block is doing something different. So when I say that, is like, if you usually watch the same shows or a specific genre of show or a specific genre of music, maybe start listening or trying out a different genre of music that you wouldn't normally, or different artists that you wouldn't normally listen to, and do that consistently. Change something in your creative process. Or maybe that's journaling more. Maybe you've never used to journal, and you're like, I'm gonna wake up and journal. Again, going back to the artist way, one thing they challenge you with is waking up every day and
those morning pages,
just writing, free writing. Because those are things that awaken sort of that spiritual inspiration. The creative inspiration within you. And so I always say, when it comes to creative block, being sure to do something different that you wouldn't typically do is a great way to get out of that funk.
No, you're right. And the other thing that I've learned to do with creative blocks is to take it and relax. sometimes you have a creative.
Chill out.
You just need to chill out.
Yeah.
You just need to go sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
Like literally, when I say go outside and read a book, I mean go outside and read a book. Experience something that is not within what you're doing at all, and see how randomly something will come up.
Yeah.
Something will hit, something will trigger, and you're like, oh, okay, I can pull this and to do this. And sometimes how I view creative blocks is I'm doing, like you said, I'm doing too much of the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm doing way too much of the same thing, and I need to go have new experiences.
New experiences.
It's about having those new experiences that trigger creativity. Because my other thought is, which just shows you where my mind's at. I'm like, go pick up another skill. Go do another skill somewhere else. I'm like, no, Karina, maybe don't do that. Like,
right.
I'm like, go learn French.
Yeah,
and then sit down and do something else. Work another part of your brain out, and then see what comes about.
Yeah.
Because creative block, it's so, I don't want to say depressing, but it can feel so depressing.
It can.
Depending on who you are, it can get dark quick.
It can.
It can go south very, very fast. Because who knows? Because I also think about it in the terms of like writer's block. Have you ever experienced writer's block?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm kind of low-key dealing with it now because when Cameron went off, we were talking about usually it applies to maybe like longer projects.
Yes,
but also,
I'm thinking it's just like with novels, not necessarily with like covering like news.
But definitely can, especially if you're doing it all the time. And then but also for larger projects in general. So like the Zeal is coming out with a print edition this year. And so the way I want to come about how I write, I want to really think it through a bit more. So I have writer's block in the sense of starting, but the way I combat that is I need to just be writing more.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's other like more spiritual things that I think I need to tap into. And that brings me to the next point around creative block. There's a spiritual element to that too.
Yes.
And sometimes, depending on how you kind of come about spirituality, it could include you needing to detox. That could be like taking a social.
Did.
Yeah.
She got sober.
Okay,
and she was like, detox like your body. Okay, you guys, my mind's full of sugar drugs.
But that's what I mean. Just detoxing your life, what that means for you is going to be different.
Yes.
We all have in some degree our vices. It could be even as simple as social media.
Yes, no, that's true. Yeah.
Going off of social media for a while. So detoxing, or even in a spiritual sense, fasting. Yes. Some people like to fast I'm someone who will fast if I need if I'm feeling blocked up spiritually, it might come out in my creativity as well. So detoxing. And to me, when you are detoxing, again, that just looks different depending on what it is you feel you need to kind of step away from. It makes way for new. It really gets you quiet and it helps you to better understand. We always talk about sitting with yourself. It just opens up new realms of what could be.
Yes.
When you make way for new, you get a lot of aha moments. There's a lot of new epiphanies that you could have, and it could also be as simple as like cleaning your house. You know what I mean? Clean your house. Throw away old clothes.
That space matters. Your house matters.
Your environment matters a lot. So that could be that. It could be redecorating your home. You know, creating a new setup for where you work.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different ways to tackle it, but the truth is you have to get centered around what is it that could be causing that block. And if it is social media, if it is your environment isn't right, if it is people in your life, because we can go even take it a step further, you could be creatively blocked because you don't have the right people support around you.
Yeah.
So that could be the detox. You need to start,
detox from people. New friends. Detox from that man.
Yes. So yeah.
That's okay. That's interesting. I guess I never thought about creative block in the way of like environmental things, because you're right. Even before I create, I typically clean up. Like I'm typically like, I can't create in a hectic space.
Yeah.
So I typically clean everything and then I start. I'm like, oh, okay. I need to at least visually see something that's very clear.
Absolutely.
Before I start my process.
Yeah, creativity is a very spiritual process.
It is. And you have to be tapped in that way to yourself.
Yeah.
Goes back to what we say every single season, every single episode. You gotta know yourself.
Yeah.
You have to know, like,
know
spiritually too.
Yeah.
So with that being said, creative block, for your footnote, what do you have for us today?
I would say my footnote is fall in love with the process of being a creative. Fall in love with the process versus anticipating the destination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I guess my footnote would be, if you're experiencing creative block, just go do something new, get a new experience, and give yourself, time to rest.
Yeah.
Like, please give yourself time to rest. I should take my own advice with that one, honestly.
We working gals, honey.
We are.
I love that for us. That concludes this episode. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yes.
Be sure to like, subscribe, share, comment.
Yes, leave that 5-star review.
Yes, ma'am.
5 stars on YouTube.
5 stars only.
All that. Thank you.
And we will see you in the next one.
All right.